It is unclear if Vel'koz was the first Voidborn to emerge on Runeterra, but there has certainly never been another to match his level of cruel, calculating sentience. While his kin devour and defile everything around them, he seeks instead to scrutinize and study the physical realm and the strange warlike beings that dwell there for any weakness the Void might exploit. But Vel'koz is far from a passive observer, striking back at threats with deadly plasma or by disrupting the very fabric of the world itself. Vel'koz's passive, organic deconstruction, marks enemies every time they're hit with one of his abilities. This is denoted by a third of a triangle and stacks up to 3 times. Upon reaching the third stack, the enemy is deconstructed and takes a burst of true damage that scales with level and AP. These marks fall off after 7 seconds, but Vel'koz can refresh their timer with basic attacks. Vel'koz's Q, Plasma Fission, fires an energy bolt in a line, stopping at its max range and splitting into 2 identical bolts perpendicular to the original trajectory. Plasma Fission splits early when coming into contact with an enemy or upon reactivation. Plasma Fission deals magic damage and slows the target for a few seconds, decaying over the duration. Plasma Fission also restores 50% of its mana cost per target killed, for a maximum of 150% of its cost returned. Vel'koz's W, Void Rift, opens a rift to the void that cuts through the ground in a line, dealing magic damage and leaving behind a trail. After a quarter-second delay, the entire trail detonates, dealing magic damage to enemies standing upon it. Void Rift has no cast animation, so it can be used simultaneously as other abilities, or even while moving. While the explosion of the rift deals more damage, it's easy to, void. So make sure to utilize its lack of cast animation to also layer in your other abilities. Lastly, although its cooldown is long, Vel'koz can store up to 2 charges. Vel'koz's E, Tectonic Disruption, hurls a disruptive anomaly at the target location. After a short delay, all enemies take magic damage and are suspended for 3/4 of a second. Enemies close to Vel'koz at the time of impact are also slightly knocked back in the direction from the cast. Vel'koz's ultimate, Lifeform Disintegration Ray, has both a passive and active component. The passive, Researched, causes any enemies deconstructed recently to be marked as researched for 7 seconds. Basic attacks and ability damage will refresh this duration. The active causes Vel'koz to root himself in place and channel for 2.5 seconds, summoning a large disintegration ray in a line. The ray's trajectory will update itself over the duration to face your cursor. Reactivating Lifeform Disintegration Ray immediately ends its effects. The ray deals heavy damage in quarter-second intervals to enemies caught in its wake, slowing them by 20% and applying up to 3 stacks of deconstruction. Research enemies take true damage from the ultimate instead of magic.
Replicating life form entertainment routine.